This podcast is intended to provide information for educational purposes only and to serve as a starting point for you to have a conversation with your personal physician. Nothing stated on this podcast should be considered medical advice. Consult with your physician before undertaking or changing any treatment plan.
A big part of my healing journey and losing all this weight had to do with my ability to heal myself from trauma. We go through things in life and we need healing, we need recovery. Going through this surgery has really helped me.
Okay, welcome back to the Pound of Cure Weight Loss Podcast. We are here with Raquel. Welcome, Raquel.
Hi. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here.
I've been really looking forward to Raquel coming here for a while. Like when we first started this podcast, you've actually been on our roster for a while. We just haven't been able to sync the timing up. I've always loved talking to her. And I think, first of all, before we tell the story of your bariatric surgery, I want to tell everybody just from my perspective about this thing I'm wearing. So if you're listening, you can't see, but talk to me, tell everybody what I have on.
So I made Dr. Weiner an Ojo de Venado, and it is a form of protection in our native culture, in the Yaqui culture. And we gift these to people. Some people purchase them, but I gifted this to Dr. Weiner on the day of my surgery, which happened to be scheduled on Ash Wednesday. So it was the beginning of our Lent ceremonies during Quaresma. That's how we refer to it. So it's the ceremony that we participate in the Yaqui culture. So I thought it was very moving to give this to him as a form of protection. And I asked him to wear it during my surgery.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard that story. I know you had it, but that's just very, very
So
touching.
It was, I mean, first of all, it was really a powerful moment. I remember that. Like I do a lot of surgery and I talk to a lot of patients before surgery. I remember like that moment very vividly. And I think there's something else like, so, of course I agreed, like, absolutely, I'll wear this. This is fantastic. But she kind of told me about how it's kind of protective. And we were going through some things in our practice and in our business world that were really, really challenging for us. The year kind of when you had your surgery, that year was a very difficult year for me. This kind of came right at the beginning of this. And I actually have worn this 50, 60 times since then. So that you gave it to me kind of thinking about the surgery, but it was something I needed at the time. And I really wanted to thank you for that. And let you know that it is, it's well worn. And in fact, I think I went and I told you, and I brought that home to my wife and she was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then my wife wore it, which I guess is a little is that a little bit against the rules or?
Well, technically, if it's made for you, you wear it.
Yeah.
And then I was moved to hear that she was interested in it, and I actually made her one as well.
She made my wife one.
Yeah.
My wife has one as well. And so she wore that. So she only wore it for like a brief period of time. As soon as we found out, she was like, okay, I'm not wearing it anymore. But she does still have hers and she does wear it on occasion. And so, I think having something like this, kind of being in touch with some spiritual energy. And I've been on a little bit of a spiritual journey as I kind of reach more midlife and kind of have some things go on in my life that are maybe not exactly the way I'd want them to be. And so, I'm kind of always searching for answers and my place in the universe and everything like that. So why don't you share a little bit about, just what are some basic things that all Native Americans, that we should know about Native Americans?
I think it's just being open to the culture. I think that's one of the things that I was very moved. Like I had met with you a few times before my scheduled procedure on video, and I was just kind of forcefully moved by Creator to like give you this. And I was so worried about, is he going to be open to it? Like, what is he going to think? Is it going to be like bad juju or whatever? So I think one of the things is just being open to the different cultures and receiving the blessings that come with ceremonies. We all have a different way of reaching our higher power, what Native American cultures, any kind of cultures, right? And it's for the same purpose.
Right.
And so just being open to the different cultures and the different ceremonies and receiving whatever blessings you can at the moment and leaving what you can't.
So higher power. So, I mean, I think in kind of, Christianity and Judaism, there's this idea of God. You use the word creator. Is there, it seems to me like all kind of the same concept, but is there something unique about, the higher power, the creator in Native American culture? I mean, how does that philosophically a little bit different from maybe the term God that most of us are familiar with?
I just picked up the term creator during my recovery. So my story is very unique, right? When I came to find you, I had just went through a significant loss of my late husband. I had to find my recovery. I am a recovering addict. I've been sober for 4 years. And then I just found creator. I just found what I connected to, and that's what we kind of go to. I have some kind of I think I have some kind of what's the word, like I don't like putting names and labels on things.
Okay.
And so when we refer to different persons, whoever you refer it to is who you refer it to, right? And so creator, just the creator of Mother Earth, creator of the universe, the creator, and so that's how I just relate that connection.
Like really resonates with you.
Yeah. Just the idea that there's this higher power kind
Right.
of governing things that is outside of your control.
Right.
And because it's outside of our control, we're kind of lucky and we should be grateful for every moment we have, every blessing that comes to us, every good thing that has, and also understand that sometimes bad things happen to us as well. And maybe they aren't because you're a bad person or because you've done a bad thing, but just because that's the order of the universe at that moment. That the idea that it's any point in time, your life is going to only be good.
Right.
And always be good going forward that's just a foolish thought.
Right. Right.
And so understanding that when it's good, it's good. And when it's not, it's not. It's all part of this higher order, this higher powers. Am I on the right track with that?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's also, we need to know that even the things that are unfortunate that happen to us, there's learning opportunities that come out of those things. So
Amen to that. Yes. I've experienced that, quite directly lately. I think it's interesting that you had some concerns about giving me this Ojo because, and I've talked to other surgeons about this too. And I think in general, most of us agree that, when you're meeting, and I've been asked to pray with people and, prayers that are not the same religion I practice. And I think people are sometimes apprehensive about that. I've always just said, you want to pray? Let's pray. Like whatever is going to bring you some comfort at this moment. Our job is to take care of your body, but it's also to take care of you spiritually and understand there's an amazing amount of trust you're putting in a surgeon. When you are going to sleep, you're basically saying, I surrender my body and I will allow you to do whatever you like to it while I'm asleep. And I'm trusting you to make those changes in order to make my life better. And that's just an incredible amount of trust to put in another person. And so, first of all, I'm always just amazed at that. And I recognize that if whatever I can do to kind of help someone feel comfortable, that also helps their physical recovery too. So if you feel comfortable, you feel like, oh, I trust this person, I trust that things are going to go well, they often do.
Yeah.
And if you're like, oh my God, every time I have surgery, it always goes bad, I always have complications, there's always issues, you're going through a change in your body, you're going to find something that's not going the way you want. Yeah. And so it's really about where you put your energy. And I think kind of, however you do it, you're giving a gift and asking them to wear it, you're asking them to pray with you, whatever's going to bring you comfort. I think it's the surgeon's responsibility to honor that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was really grateful that you were open to allowing me to share that with you and share that moment, because I felt like almost, like I mentioned, like almost like forced. So it was like creator was like, give it to him, give it to him. And it wasn't for you to protect me or for me to feel protected. I think it had a lot to do with whatever was going on that I had no clue about. And so there is an even exchange that happens, right? Like
Yeah.
when we do things, and for whatever reason we cross paths and we were able to meet, and I gave blessings to you and you gave blessings to me.
You did.
So it was a healing opportunity.
That's exactly what happened. That is, you know, that's really, I think you kind of felt that maybe I needed something too. And a lot of people look at their surgeon and they think like, well, this guy's got it made.
Yeah.
Not understanding that surgery is probably one of the most stressful jobs there is. And with any stress comes a lot of issues, right? You know, stress is hard on somebody. It takes its toll physically, it takes its toll emotionally, it takes its toll with your relationships. And so, you know, I think you have to understand that with you, when you're talking to your surgeon, that especially a high stakes, bigger surgery, that person is, you know, and we've become accustomed to and are able to manage it. But it doesn't mean that we don't need a little help sometimes.
Right.
So, and I think this came to me, this was so helpful to me. And it was something I've used and I've thought about over and over again since then. So creator was dialed in that day. So let's talk a little bit about, 4 years ago, you were struggling with addiction. You were overweight. Just kind of tell us a little bit about your story.
So, just to give a little bit of background, I come from a criminal justice major. I went to get my associate's degree at Central Arizona College, and I went on to ASU for a while. I interned with several different police departments, sheriff's departments, and did a lot of my work out of Pinal County and Pima County. I met a judge, and I started working for him as a bailiff, and then went on as a judicial assistant. I got married, and my late husband was murdered on January 1st, 2018. I became a single mother of 4 kids, 2 of which those kids were his, and they were living with us. So they're my adopted kids. But their mom was murdered to domestic violence 2 weeks before their dad was murdered.
Oh my!
So in the mix of
so these kids lost both their parents within 2 weeks.
Yes.
Oh my!
And so I went on to adopt them, and then we went through some things in the family dynamic. My adopted son sexually molested my daughter, who was 1.5 years. So you could just imagine all this trauma.
So much trauma
in within 6 to 8 months period. And then COVID hit. And so all of our services, from therapy services, were wrapped from under us. I tried drugs for the first time and immediately got addicted. Yeah. And the judge I worked for, he dropped me off at CBI, and he was a big supporter of getting help and getting into recovery. My kids were taken by CPS. So I kind of was at my rock bottom, right? And I had this image that I worked so hard for, my career, that I felt like that was gone. My husband was gone. And then all this. So I worked really hard. I got into a treatment. I went through the Native American program at the Haven here in Tucson. Got my kids back within 9 to 10 months. We had the tribe behind us. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the ICWA law, but it's an Indian Child Welfare Act where the kids are protected. So our family was protected so that they couldn't go outside and be placed with other people, like strangers.
Right.
So when I went through recovery, I was overweight, and in addiction, I lost weight, right? Because I didn't eat. I was addicted to methamphetamines. And when I got into recovery, I gained a lot of weight. I was my heaviest I was 402 pounds when I had my daughter.
Wow.
I was 387 pounds when I got into recovery, when I had it. So I was really overweight. And, coming from addiction, your body craves carbs. Your body, you just eat and eat. And so that was my go-to. That was my next addiction. I also was born with a deformity in my legs that really, I was severely knock-kneed. And then I tore my ACL. I got into a car accident and both of my legs were messed up after that when I was 13. So going to lose weight was very difficult for me. I couldn't lose weight because of my knees.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out. No surgeon would do knee surgery on me.
Yeah.
They didn't want to touch me because I was overweight. I went to several different surgeons and everybody was like, no. So then I found you and I was ready. It just fit in where I was at in my life in recovery. And then like having to do all the tests to make sure that I was ready for this change. I had done the work.
Right.
So getting my kids back, doing the work, I got a job with the tribe. I currently work for the Phosphoic tribe as well. I am a domestic violence facilitator for offenders for the Hiapsiquota program. I've been there for about 3.5 years and I've been sober for 4 years. So I really maintained my recovery, my career. Nothing happened to me, thank God, like criminally,
Right.
so I still was fortunate to like be able to do all this work that I'm doing. And so a big part of my healing journey and losing all this weight had to do with my ability to heal myself from trauma.
Yeah.
From everything, not just what happened to me, but childhood. We go through things in life and we need healing, we need recovery. And so going through this surgery has really helped me. So I had my surgery, my sleeve surgery done February. And then I was able to get my knee. I lost enough weight and I got my knee I got 2 double knee replacement surgeries, 3 weeks apart. So in February, I got the surgery. And then in October, I had my first knee surgery. And then 3 weeks later in November, I had my second knee surgery. And it was the most painful surgery.
Way more painful. The knee surgery is going to be way more painful than bariatric surgery.
Yes.
Makes a bariatric surgery like a walk in the park, right?
Yeah. Yes. So, with that being said, that's like my story. I was able to recover. I'm almost 2 years. In February, it'll be 2 years for my sleeve surgery. I'm a year out, post-op for my knee surgeries. I'm just about around the corner. So, but this has really helped me to recover in my life. Recover not just from food, not just from being overweight, but just from life itself.
Yeah. I think sometimes with addiction and that if you're just, your story I think is typical about it, when there was so much pain, so many bad things happened to you, all of the terribleness that you described, that's when you kind of turn to drugs. And sometimes just, it's no surprise. Poor people are more likely to use drugs than rich people because poor people suffer more pain and have more difficulties in their life than rich people. And so sometimes if you can you get that little extra edge, and I think at some point there's the judge who gave you a chance and who mentored you and really helped you. And that, kind of gave you that edge. And then some things happen, beyond your control. And then you drop down and have that pain again. And then now it was a surgery that kind of helped you, and the weight loss and the physical healing.
Yeah.
And so what's next for you? What are you planning on? What are you aiming for? What's your relationship like with your family now? Talk to us about what life is like now.
Well, I definitely, I got my kids back. We adopted another child. So I got remarried and I've been so much healthier. The healthiness with like my choices, being able to be present in the moment, right? And so even being present with food, right? Being able to say like, I don't have to have this because it's a want and not a need. And so being in recovery helped me to like identify those things all across the board. I'm still working, I'm still healing, I'm still on my healing journey. My perception of things is like, we go through these things, we fight, we heal, and then we teach.
Yeah.
So that divine connection that comes through me and it goes out and I share that. It's not mine to keep, it's mine to share. And so just like your knowledge, you share that, you heal people, you have healing hands, we all do. So
that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Really. So you brought us some things today.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So
So
talk to us a little bit about what you brought.
So I brought some medicine. We always offer medicine, offer the blessings. I know that when I came to see you for my year follow up, I don't think you recognized me because I hadn't touched base with you. Like I seen Deidre, but I didn't see you. So and then I think you recognized me because you were like, "Oh, the opal."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, I remember you." So that then we made that connection. But
you had lost about 150 pounds at that point too.
Yeah.
You
So
look
that's-
quite different,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So that's fair. But I had brought you medicine. I had been thinking a lot about just revisiting you and seeing you. And so we offer like sage. I brought you a shell. I just offered that medicine as a form of thank you. And so that's what we do when we express gratitude. We express our feelings, our connections, and we express that with medicine. So we always bring some. So I brought you some more.
I love it.
So I brought you some more sage, and I brought you cedar as well.
Okay. And the cedar is the same thing. You light it on fire.
Yeah, you just with this one you can
We're going to light the sage. You know that,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
We'll light. We'll offer.
Yes, we're gonna bless this off.
Yeah, we'll do a blessing. But first, I'll give you this. So when we give this to each other, you open your hands like this, and then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you receive it.
You're
welcome.
Thank you for this. Yeah, this is really special.
Yeah. So I also brought. This is a maso. This is our deer dancer.
Okay.
Just a pin
So it's a
for
pin.
you and Zoe. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also
It's like on our shirt somewhere.
yeah, you can pin it or wherever you want.
Okay.
But Zoe, I made you one.
Oh, you got it. Oh, Zoe.
So these are used as a form of protection. There's a lot of things out in the world, right? And this is just another tool, right? Another form of protection. You can choose to wear it. You can choose to hang it up, however you want. But I did put a lot of prayers into every bead is a prayer.
Wow.
Yeah, every bead is a prayer.
For those of you listening, there's hundreds of beads.
There's a lot. I didn't count, but there is a lot.
So every bead is a prayer.
Yes. And when we make these, we make them with good intentions. You really have to be centered, right? We're making something to protect somebody. And so you have to, before I make these, I offer a prayer. I clean myself. I offer a prayer and I just ask for that connection, that divine connection. And then I just bead and I have good thoughts. And that's another form. When I got into recovery, I started beading as a way to help my thoughts, right? So we tend to have a million thoughts come through our heads. And so then we don't know how to center ourselves. It's hard to get away from that, especially when we have a lot going on and there's a lot going on in the world. So beading really helped me to have allow those thoughts to be acknowledged, but also have them go.
Like a form of meditation.
Right. So I did with Dr. Weiner, so
I appreciate it.
yeah. And I also made you one for here. So these are our.
So just for the office?
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. So
Yeah.
these can be a place as well as a person. I love this.
Some people hang them in their cars. Some people just hang them by their beds. Whatever you feel connected to and where it's supposed to be placed, it'll be placed.
Yeah.
So this is for your office, and these are colors of our Yaqui flag. So this is really special. There's a lot of protection that comes with this. So.
Thank you. So, I feel very connected to this office. I really love the people that I work with, Zoe, Sierra, Deidre, all of our staff here. I think we're all really committed to helping other people in their life journey, not just their weight loss journey. And of all the places in the office, it's actually this room we're sitting in right now that's really my favorite room without question. And Zoe was there as we were kind of designing it. And this was the only room I really kind of thought about. So, but I think we need to find a place to kind of hang this into our background. So it just stays there. Like this, I think. We'll play
We'll have Lauren
Well, yeah.
decide where it goes.
His wife actually designed our background.
That's nice. I love it.
So yeah, she may move it around. We'll see, but I think we need to keep that in here. Is that something? Is that an appropriate way to handle it? Okay.
Absolutely. And every once in a while, I don't know if you do this, but every once in a while, just give it a cleaning with the sage. Sage is really good. It's a really good part of
Can
healing.
you show me how you would do that?
Sure.
Okay. So this is a good plug for people to watch us on YouTube as opposed to just listen to us, because there's a lot going on. So Sage is lighting the petrified sage. Now even the YouTube viewers can't smell that. It smells pretty awesome.
We can.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna take a moment to acknowledge like our space. This is a safe place, right? We want to be able to acknowledge a safe place, be able to acknowledge like Mother Earth. I like to really just when I sage, just take off my shoes and just feel the ground, just feel
Shoes come.
you know. So I just like to just feel the energy and just receive that. I learned to just walk on Mother Earth gently and just receive the four elements, the air, the water, the fire, like all these things that we have, just to be able to receive those. And I just like to sit with this. Sage is also just really healing. You can just feel like even just the softness of like the air, I just felt so calm. My voice even just you just open.
Yeah.
So I get into connection, and I just for that. And when you smudge, you want to just smudge with. So I'm just going to stand up.
Okay.
Not legal.
Sure. It really smells so good.
Yeah. And I'm just going to open myself up.
Can we do this too?
Yeah. You guys can stand up if you want. All right. So you just take a deep breath. And then you just clean yourself. And I will actually, since we're here, is it okay if I clean you?
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
So we'll just move these a little bit out of the way. So I'm just gonna ask like permission to be in your space, right? To your safe place. And then I'm just gonna offer a blessing. And so when I'm done with the front side, you'll turn that way and face that way. And then when I'm done, you'll turn full circle and face me again. Okay? Okay, go ahead and turn. Lift up your right foot. Take your left foot. You can turn and face me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also just made this the other day in our art class. So I'm going to gift this to you as well. And you can just let
This is
that.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just going to burn for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You can just let it burn. And usually, when you do a blessing to somebody, you want to make sure that you ask permission to like be in their space, because it's a connection that happens, right? When we're in front of each other, we're connected. When we're open to each other, we're connected. When I take that deep breath, you can feel my energy and I can feel yours. So I clean myself first so that I don't transfer any energy to you, and then I clean you. So that's how I was taught to do it. You know, we usually, where the sun rises, the sun sets, like all those things matter. The 4 directions, the 4 seasons, the 4 peoples. You know, like there's a lot more that goes into.
And that's why it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
When you do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how I was taught to do things. So.
I mean, well, I think the connections between people, that's really all we have in the end.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the possessions that we own, it's the connections we make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like this is not a coincidence that we crossed paths. There was a couple different programs that I had tried that I didn't feel connected to before Pound of Cure. And when I met you, I knew. I didn't even have to meet you in person. I did a telehealth. Yeah. So I knew. And so when we're that connected and we know the answer's there, you know.
Well, I also feel very connected. I've been talking to Zoe about you for a long time, and I've always loved talking to you every time we speak in the office, and and so I feel very lucky to have been able to be part of your journey. And I think, you certainly have had some hard things in your life, and you managed to kind of tackle them and heal from them, and then I think most importantly to share your growth with other people.
Yeah.
Which is really, to me, if just the surviving is always amazing, but then when you can take that and use it to help other people, which is something that you've done and you continue to do, I think that's so important, and I'm so happy to see you do that, and I wish you all the best as you continue on that path.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.